That's how it starts.
I didn't like that.
Why not?
Because we're just roommates.
We're just roommates.
Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love the Eighth Sense. Boys love, boys love.
And let's emphasize, boys love the Eighth Sense.
Boys love... Has it not been clear? When Adam was like, okay, we have to start the next episode because I need to see the kiss. I was like, what do you mean? He just pulled him in close. That doesn't mean they're gonna kiss. Girl, the Rakuten logo came up and they're kissing.
And they're kissing.
Okay, here we go. Where do you stand?
This has to be the earliest
kiss
in a KBL.
KBL history?
Herstory.
For the first time in KBL history?
For the first time in forever. That's my Adina. That's my Adele Dazeem.
When I meet the wizard.
Once I prove my worth. So they're kissing. Good kiss, bad kiss.
Where do you stand on this kiss?
I think it's a good kiss because we're in a very natural tone of the show. There is an awkwardness to it, but it is not the dead-eyed fish kiss.
Yeah, not like... There's like a little bit of it to start, but then it slowly is like, ooh, can I do a little lower lip? Can I do a little upper lip? Maybe a little all around? You know, they're like exploring. They're in the discovery zone.
Discovery zone. And then it's over, and Jaewon's like, okay, have a good night. And like walks away.
Yes.
And Jihyun is like,
now, if I wasn't asking, what are we? When you were looking at me.
I mean, I think that's the point of the show now is what are we?
Okay, what are we? This is the What Are We episode. Officially.
It's just so early.
I know that it kind of threw me for a loop because I was like,
I mean, I
live for it. I didn't know where this was going to go.
I mean,
episode.
I think it's been set up correctly. Right?
Absolutely,
I think it makes sense. That's why they had so much sexual tension from the get-go.
I think that's the most amazing part is that because those first two episodes, the second episode specifically, was so ripe with sexual tension that it was nice to like get this out of the way right away. Like it wasn't Jihyun imagining things and it wasn't us projecting that onto the show.
Sure.
These two characters are actively in that same place that we were.
Sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like really nice, especially for the second episode.
Go right into the credits, opening credits. So this is what we call in the business the cold open. And then they're back at like the group Campfire and everyone is
drunk. I really don't think Jaewon and Jihyun are drunk.
I think they're drunk. I don't think they're
ass
trashed
like everyone else. Okay.
Yoonwon is gone. Not present.
Gone girl.
Taeyoung is
in a different universe.
I mean, he concocts the penalty drink.
Which is basically just somek, but in a plastic bin. Because all he did was
it's supposed to be like jungle juice, basically.
But he just added soju and beer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they drink there.
So that's what they've been drinking. It's just the penalty is you have to drink it from a bin.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
I would say that's a penalty. You don't think that's a penalty? Drinking it from a bin that there's no way these people have washed?
It's a cup. It's a big cup.
It's not a cup.
It's a square cup.
It's not a cup. So RJ's pro drinking out of bins. Does it remind you of the trough you eat out of?
Do you see the bullying that I have to go through in this marriage?
No.
Do you have any fun jungle juice stories? Do you have any fun penalty drink stories? Not really. We just did it in college.
No, we just were theater majors, so.
The only time I've ever gotten this belligerently drunk to the point where like I could have almost passed out as an adult, like in my late 20s in Phoenix, New Year's Eve.
Oh.
I never got to that level in college. For some reason, I don't know. I guess I would just had a good gut. My kidneys were working. But have you ever?
Yes, I have gotten drunk to the point that I've been throwing up in college.
Yeah, I was there.
And I don't even want to talk about it because it's so embarrassing to talk about.
But it involves pasta.
It does involve me having had a pound of spaghetti before we had a party at our apartment. So deduce from that what you will. The worst thing about me when I get drunk, and this is like when I get drunk is that I wake up at like the dawn the
Oh,
next day.
really?
As soon as there is light in the room, I'm
It's like-
I'm immediately awake. I can't fall back asleep because that's when the immediate like hangover hits. And so I have to like go and, go to the bathroom and like try to find anything that will cure my hangover. I like wake up really early. That's the worst part.
I thought you meant like your behavior
way I
as a
act.
drunk. Yeah.
Okay, the worst part about me, my behavior as a drunk is everyone thinks I would be like a fun drunk, and I'm not. I'm a very serious drunk. I like to talk about very deep emotional feelings.
Yes. And like gets so emotional, and every little thing is like, I really value your time and input, and
Yeah.
and like
What you're making it sound like it would be a bad thing.
and all the trauma just comes out, and people are like,
I will say, watching the scene, I'll say the worst thing about you is you just like to hear people tell their secrets. The worst part about this scene was
I get very quiet and my ears perk up.
there is nothing worse on planet Earth than being the sober person in a group of drunk people.
Yeah.
I would literally rather die. I hate
And
it.
you've done it multiple times.
I hate it so
I think like as you've
much.
gotten older, because I think you've just, it feels to me that you've been like, I'll just be the DD. Because I think you
Yes.
don't like that feeling of like being super like hungover the next morning.
I hate
I hate the
hangovers.
feeling of hangover.
I hate them.
I hate them so much.
I hate them so much.
Especially since I can have a headache for mama. The headache will not go away. It's really annoying.
I hate hangovers. So I will drink. I'll have like 2 glasses of wine and then I'll be like, and I'm good, because I
Yeah.
know if I do any more, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. But I do.
The problem is I do not have self-control if it's brunch. If it's brunch, I
That is
will
absolutely.
have a bottomless mimosa and then
and
I will
you
be
will
drunk
Yes,
at
that
like
is
2
so
p.m.
true. Yeah.
It's
So
nice.
tickets are on sale for the Boys Love Brunch. If you'd like to join us
Boys
for
love
brunch.
brunch.
Boys love brunch.
What's your brunch go-to?
Oh, girl, you know me.
Don't say eggs Benedict.
Eggs fucking Benedict, baby. Give me that runny ass
Do
egg.
you have a preferred
Ah.
style of eggs Benedict, like a crab?
I
eggs
love a
Benedict?
crab cake eggs Benedict. Adam,
What's mine?
chocolate chip pancakes.
No, that's not true.
Biscuits and gravy. girl.
Biscuits and gravy.
An American.
An American girly.
You and Kaden eating biscuits and gravy.
Yes. Me, Kaden, and Jay all eating our biscuits and gravy together. And this server at the bar that they go to later in this episode. All of us American girlies. I don't think they're trashed.
Okay.
I think they're drunk.
Okay.
And I think of everybody, Jian's probably the least drunk.
Well, I think
Which is probably why
I
he
think
was like...
Unji is the most sober. I think that also doesn't help.
I think that's also why he was like, I'll do the penalty drink because I need to forget
Get out
what's
of
going
this.
on.
Yes, that's true. Jaewon is like kissing Taehyung too, and then
On the cheek.
on the cheek.
So then Yoonwon is like, oh,
There
it's
she
like-
goes again.
First of all, I love her. This is such a true interpretation of being drunk, where you're so drunk that you like can't open your eyes all the way,
but you're still talking. Everything else.
but
is working.
everything is still happening. But you're just like, yeah, totally. That energy, it's so good. But she was like, oh, he does this thing where he like kisses random people when he's drunk, which then of course
Classic.
this is so well written because Jihyun is like, oh, so it wasn't.
So it wasn't real.
So it wasn't
He's
real.
drunk. Okay.
But was it? Or wasn't it? I mean, it was. We know
I mean,
it was.
we know it was.
It's a BL. We're watching the show. We know it's going to be real. But
Girl, they're holding hands on the picture.
you
Okay.
can, you can understand in the moment of being like, oh, fuck. Maybe I
maybe I am imagining or putting weight into something that doesn't
has no weight
has
whatsoever.
no weight whatsoever. They all crash. They all sleep. The next morning, they're like, "It's canceled.
canceled.
She's canceled. We're all."
She's like Adam, canceled.
But Jihyun still ends up surfing. He does it by himself. He zips himself up, all on his own. And then when he's out in the water, he sees that Jaewon is also out there surfing by himself.
I didn't love that Jihyun, who is like not a confident swimmer, was just like, I'm going to go surfing alone.
Don't do this, girl.
Please, girl.
Please
I know
don't
you
go
also
on.
have a hangover, so like, girl.
don't go on your own.
Don't do this.
One slip, girl. When he was walking on the rocks, one slip is
See,
all
but
it
I
takes.
have a fear of the ocean or like
Adam
bodies
has-
of water.
Yes, Adam has a big fear of vast Of I think ocean, not knowing like what's underneath the water.
Yeah, I'm fine if it's like I
Michigan.
can still stand in the water.
Oh, okay. You don't like floating.
I don't
with,
like floating.
Not knowing.
I don't like knowing. I don't like how dark it is. I don't like that most of the ocean is still unknown to like the human race. I don't like. My biggest fear, literally, is octopuses.
Octopussy.
Octopussy. I hate octopuses, so that idea is
Octopi.
terrifying. I don't like things with tentacles. I don't like the way things move underwater. I don't think calamari is that good. I have to be really honest.
You are so
I love
insensitive.
sashimi.
You do. You love a salmon sashimi. You're not a fan of octopus sashimi.
No, it's just
It's
like
just
the
the
rubbery
texture.
texture. Yeah. I like a whitefish sashimi too.
But you're not a fan of moving things under your, like feeling the movement
No.
of.
And at the ocean, there's like seaweed and what's going on. Like things shouldn't be growing out of the ground in water. You know what I mean? That's horrible. That's the worst. It's disgusting. He goes surfing alone. He spots Jaewon, and then he turns like he is like, "Oh, Jaewon's watching me," and then he turns back around and Jaewon's gone.
Well, because he does it. He's able to sustain a surf. And he's like, oh my God, I did it. Celebrating. Looks over, Jaewon's gone.
And then
And then Jaewon, like, sits with one of the other guys. And they're like, oh my God, you were so drunk last night. Do you remember kissing? And Jaewon's like, the fuck are you talking about? And they go, yeah, when you kissed Taeyang. The mood is tense at the last day of surfing.
it was a weekend trip?
I think it was just overnight.
It was just an overnight little Saturday, Sunday moment?
Yes, I think it's a Saturday, Sunday moment. And they probably got back to the university around 3.
We get another shower scene.
I wasn't focusing on the actual showers on episode 2. Now I did, and I was like, these are really nice showers. Situation.
I noticed the soap, and it looked like Aesop soap, and I was like,
can't be right.
there's no way.
But the showers were all rainfall.
I mean, gays love an Aesop soap.
The gays, not us gays, because we don't have
We're
it.
too poor.
We're too poor. Mama, give us that Costco, Kirkland brand.
I would buy an
body
Aesop soap
soap.
one time, and then I would refill the bottle with like
soft
generic soft. Yes, with the fish.
with the fish.
Yeah. But it's not a sexual. It's more of like
It's not a sexual.
You don't. You thought this shower scene was sexual? I didn't think so at all.
Well, it was.
I thought
tense.
there was tense. I actually didn't think it was sexual tension. I just thought it was like palpable tension.
But why is he still looking? Why is
just,
Jaewon still
stop.
looking?
We need to keep the
It's
eyes.
still doing the
eye lock. Lock the eyes up here. Yeah, we're drifting. We're drifting.
doing a lot of math. 1 + 2 is 2. 2 + 3 is 3. Add that to carry over. It was doing that.
They get on the bus.
Jaewon does not sit next to Jihyun.
Nope. It would suck to be Jihyun this day.
Absolutely.
There's no. I would feel so shitty. I would feel terrible.
Because at that moment, all you're thinking about is like, it's something I did.
Mm-hmm.
When at the end of when you did nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just one person's like block. When they get off the bus, they like 3 freshmen drink.
Jaewon drinks with Yoonwon.
And they kind of go off their separate ways.
There's like parallel scenes happening, but different conversations within those scenes.
Yes, I get the vibe that in the freshmen, he's coming out of a shell a little bit. He's drinking with them. They're like, oh, like, can we hear a little bit of your dialect, your Satori? And he like does a little bit of it, and it's fun. And then on the other side, Jaewon and Yoonwon are having like they're like sharing like, we're just in school because we are delaying having to go to the real world, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like drinking, and the way this woman drinks tequila and Guinness. First of all, let's discuss the menu. First of all, let's discuss what they ordered.
No, let's discuss the man who owns the restaurant. I don't understand. Okay, he doesn't understand her because she's speaking Korean. Now, this is a white man who owns, I don't know, a pub bar style.
This man was taken straight out of Wicker Park.
Oh my God. That is only a reference that Chicago people understand, but truly like a Bushwick energy. Like,
yes, that
just like a hipster. I don't know what the equivalent is for LA.
Man buns. And he's like, I'm sorry, what are you trying to say?
Why do you own a restaurant in Korea and you can't even like people should be able to like move wherever they want and like be able to not have to be completely fluent in a language.
Yes, but they were it was the situation.
But you are the owner of a restaurant.
Yes.
This is a standard order people would have.
It felt like they were in America.
Yes.
And they walked in a bar in America.
The weirdest part was I was like, they go to school in Seoul. And of course, I'm sure there are white people that own businesses.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
But it was just
so weird
bizarre
for him to like, I didn't understand what I was supposed to get from this moment.
Yeah.
I thought the comedy of it was funny. Maybe it's that Jaewon, are we supposed to like know that Jaewon speaks good English because it's supposed to be an indicator of some of his past that we don't know about yet?
Or whatever. Maybe
he's been to America, maybe studied in America or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was supposed to be getting from the scene other than the fact that I was annoyed by this like bar owner.
Because usually what happens, typical K-drama is like there is a foreigner lost or a foreigner needs something.
Yes.
A foreigner can't order.
Yes.
And like maybe she's like trying to help and doesn't work. So maybe Jaewon helps the foreigner order instead. Mm-hmm. Point of that is to see that they have a hidden charm that, they can speak English or they can speak another language. Mm-hmm. It was a little forced in that way in a situation that isn't realistic. We're only saying it is because everything else has been so hyper realistic. So this felt the most.
This is the first episode where I felt like, and we'll get to the end of the episode, but specifically the end, I thought we left naturalism and went to surrealism. But we'll talk about the end.
Yes.
So they order a pepperoni pizza, 2 Guinnesses, which is just more bread.
And then tequila shots. When I tell you that my
Are there
guts,
people who drink Guinness and have like a pepperoni pizza? Guinness is like really tasty.
Guinness is great, but it's
so heavy. You're drinking like a liquefied
But that's the thing.
Loaf of bread.
It's more wheat, like more gluten. You know what I mean? It's so much wheat, which makes me think like maybe that's why
somehow this episode has become like a drinking podcast. I don't know how this happened.
Because typically in a pub you would have like fish and chip, like very like greasy, oily food.
Right.
So I wonder if
soaks it up.
Yeah, if that makes a little bit more sense.
Pizza is also greasy, but
it's on a bed of equally dense bread. I mean, it looked thin crust.
Guinness and a tequila. What's
Guinness
happening?
And tequila.
It was just weird.
It just sounded,
It sounded horrible. That should have been what was poured in the penalty drink.
Yes,
Guinness
this is more of a penalty than Somek.
The two of them have this conversation about how Jaewon is nice to people even when he doesn't like them.
Yes.
So we're finding out more about his character.
Very interesting.
And that he has a tendency to just like charm people very easily.
But not actually be real.
It's not real though.
It's not real, not being genuine to his feelings of like, do I actually like this person or not?
Mm-hmm. Now, in some respects, I think you should just be polite to people.
Yes. But I think what she's saying, like, maybe there's like maybe he's like led on Unji. Maybe he never really liked her, but like it led on to a relationship because he.
It was interesting.
It's more revelatory, really, than kind of.
It was just interesting to me because we haven't really gotten a ton about his character
or his past.
They're
really saving it. It must be huge.
There has to be something.
It must be like he
killed a man.
Because remember when he was coming home after that first episode and it was like giant gates? He was just like sitting outside giant gates and he got that text that was like, your first day back and all of a sudden you're just drinking, like you're staying out.
I forgot about that.
So I do wonder if it's like
he has to be a
money.
chaebol.
Yeah, I think it's chaebol.
Which goes back to he had to have studied in America because he had money.
Yeah.
That's what we're guessing.
Just like roommates Pungdog. Remember he started that business in the U.S.
Yes.
Failed.
Yes. So Yoonwon is like, oh, the freshman boy, Ji-hyun, he gave us some photos that he drew. He gave us a gift as a thank you. And he had drawn both of them separately.
Yeah.
On like surfing. And it makes Jaewon smile, which is very charming. It's very sweet.
I think it's these small things that they're getting that make it seem like there's definitely more than just we're being nice to each other. or we're getting along with.
Yes, and also the thing that they've really done well with Jihyun is that you don't feel like he's trying to get
Him.
Jaewon.
Yeah.
Like, this is all just like he's just a very sweet, charming, innocent like character. And this is like he wanted to do something for them and like give them a thank you.
Yeah.
Jaewon is charmed by it because it's not what the like both girls were trying to hit on him or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's so different from that. And obviously like Jihyun isn't purpose. I don't think it's the first intention is not to
Get with Jaewon.
but
Just like showing appreciation.
that's what attracted him to Jihyun in the first place is the way that he's very like innocent and wide-eyed. That night, Junpyo, and first of all, this is Junpyo's episode. This is Junpyo's episode. He's maybe in 3.5 minutes of screen time in this whole thing, and I swear to God, he's the best thing about this episode. Junpyo is sitting in their dorm. They're back in their dorm, and he's sitting playing a game. Jihyun is on his computer, and he gets the photo. He receives the photos of the weekend.
Photos of the weekend, yeah.
A shared album, if you will.
He sees the pictures of him with Jaewon. Like,
and
oh,
is that your new best friend?
Oh, you made your new best friend. Fun.
But so like
not coming from a place of like I'm jealous. It is for like, oh, like yeah,
we have a new friend. We have a new friend.
We have a new best friend. Oh my God, he's so handsome. Good for you.
Also eating.
Still eating. The next morning, he comes out with his little choco pie, eating a snack. He's been like smile. This is what I noticed. He started smiling a lot more like the next day, which I think is laying seeds for like what will happen at the end. It feels like from the moment he received the pictures to now, we are just seeing one side of something.
But there's a second story
but
that we haven't seen yet.
There's a separate storyline that's happening that we're not seeing until probably this next episode.
80, who's one of the freshman girls, is like basically trying to...
Very interested in Jihyun.
She's she has her eyes locked on Jihyun.
I don't blame you, girl. So she like sits next to him in class. She tries to go out with him, but he was like, "Oh, I've made plans with a friend, and he's very shy, so I don't think you would want to go meet him." She sees him and Junpyo. They kind of introduce each other, and she's very persistent, but not in a like annoying way. She's just like not hearing him, where it's just like, well, yeah, let's go out for dinner, blah, 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 blah. Here, oh, yeah, this place looks good. Yeah, so I'll just pick you up, or I'll see you tonight, and then leaves. And, like, he can't get in a word because it's just happening so fast. And even Junpyo's like...
Is she the girl you kissed?
She's the girl. Yes, which is the thing. That was the thing when they were looking at the pictures, because Jihyun was like, what do you think about kissing? Like, how do you know when you want to kiss someone? And Junpyo, and this is why I love secondary characters, especially coded like Junpyo, where it's like not a care in the world.
If you don't have good secondary characters, I don't want to bother watching the show.
Yes. If there's no point of them, why even have them there? But he was like, we're all humans. You just feel when it happens. Which is so funny because it sounds so profound. But to Junpyo, it's just like, no, it's just, you just know.
But that's like Junpyo's charm. Is just like he's not curious. He's not trying to broaden his worldview. And he's not like a small-minded person necessarily. But like, he's just like, yeah, that's what it is. He's not like trying to discover new things or anything, which is also why Jihyun is like kind of over him to some degree.
Which is just, it's like he's already acting like a older uncle vibe.
So they're sitting at lunch.
Sitting at lunch, and
Jihyun and Junpyo. And Jaewon walks up.
By. And Junpyo is like, oh, yeah, you.
I know you.
I know your face. You guys are new best friends, right?
We're all friends now.
We're all friends now. You can feel free to talk casually to me.
Yeah, feel free
and
to
if you
drop
want,
honorifics.
And if you want, you can take me out for dinner. Like, we can all go out sometime. And I love it.
It's such a good scene. Also, Jaewon is not put off by it.
Not put off by it. He is like in it.
I do think he finds it really funny.
He finds it funny and like I think charming because it's such a stark difference from
no
Jihyun.
one acts like this.
Yeah.
Right? People don't act like
I feel
this.
like I won't go out of my way.
It's here's the thing.
But if I'm in a situation where like we're in a party and there's a bunch of people, I would go to a person and be like, hey, I think you know my friend Jihyun. Like I would feel comfortable that way, but I wouldn't be like, hey, you!
Yeah.
Surf girl! Yes! Come here!
Queen!
You don't know the queen! Like, yeah.
But Jaewon is not looking at Jihyun.
I know.
And it's like, like still tense, weird.
From our perspective, it looks like they're just really trying to avoid
any kind of contact.
Any kind of contact.
Until he walks away and turns around, and then they make eye contact and Jaewon smiles.
Yeah. See, I'm still along for the ride. At this point, I'm still like, oh, okay, it's still slowly chipping away what Jaewon might be afraid to kind of cross the boundary.
Sure.
First, it was the picture. Now this, like, knowing that, like, oh, he probably talks to me about his friend. Clearly.
He talked to his friend about me.
Yeah. So, like, there's something going on.
The way we're ending this recording and we're watching the next episode, like, I'm so for real. I have to know what
happens.
after. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jihyun goes and he goes back to his job with his boss and his day off. But I
his
think
day
he
off
just,
again.
I think he's seeking advice.
Yes.
From an older, wiser character. What is his question for her?
She was kind of probing to him, like, well, why are you here on your day off? And like, why do you... She kind of got the vibe that he's being hesitant on wanting to do something.
Yeah, he's like, I have plans to go meet a friend.
And ultimately, her advice was just like, just go, just do it. Like, there's no point in being afraid. It was along the lines of like being afraid. She said, you're acting the way that someone my age should act about new people, but at your age, you should be like willing to just do whatever you can to meet as many people as possible. Because when you first got to college, you were very secluded. You didn't really break out of your shell.
For a multitude of reasons.
For many reasons. But you didn't feel like you broke out of your shell and got to meet people. You didn't even really meet people outside of our theater department at all, really. I was someone who was like friends with everybody, trying to reach out. You know, I was very active in our queer student union. I was very active as a mentor for underclassmen. Like,
for what?
I do wish that like someone, like, it would have been great to have like an older person like that just like grant us that permission, you know,
to dance. So Jihyun leaves, and this is where I was like, the tone of the show shifts. And by that, I mean this.
Dreamlike state.
Yes.
Requiem
Did you get
for
this?
a dream. Yes.
Okay, because the moment I noticed it,
it is when
he's walking down the... No, when he's walking down the stairs. So he's walking down the stairs to the subway. He keeps swapping sides of the stairwell.
The camera keeps flipping. It keeps like rotating.
I couldn't tell if the camera flipped or they used like multiple takes and then stitched them together as one. But it starts I hope people are shook by this analysis, but it started me. It was the first thing that I was like, they're like trying to play with it's trying to mess with your head. And I love that what it really is doing, it's that, right? Like it's trying to get you in like, what is this reality?
Fantastical. Yeah.
Yes. But also, it is that feeling of like when you have a new crush, and if this is true, right? If he is going to see him, it is that like it's the way visually you can get that like butterfly in your stomach feeling of the anticipation of seeing someone again, because like everything starts to like become like hyper focused, but also like dissolves away.
Yeah.
Yes,
blurred.
Like tunnel visioning.
Yeah. Yes.
So he like comes down the stairs, and then yes, he's standing waiting for the train.
He's standing waiting for the train,
and
but
they keep swapping.
It keeps swapping. It keeps flipping.
Yes,
but you keep seeing a shadow of someone that's about to like walk towards him.
Yes, but then they stop at the next.
They stop at the next door.
So I was like, oh, it just.
So it looks like it's just a person waiting also for the train.
So what was your thought right when that happened? What was your thought?
But from the blur, because I was like, that's so. I just kept looking at it because it was.
I did too.
Because no one was in the train station.
Correct.
Except for these two people.
Yes.
So I kept being like, "Oh, it's gonna come and focus, and it's Jaewon."
Yes.
But it didn't.
It so then I was like, I thought, oh, some extra just like got in the shot and they couldn't reshoot
but
it.
It didn't stay. But it stayed blurred. But I could still tell that the head turned over to look at.
Yes.
Look at Gia. So that's why I was like, I think that's Jaewon.
I thought it was 2.
Now he's in the train. Jihyun is sitting in the train, but it's through the perspective of his reflection on the train door.
On the window,
the window. And then they flip it, and then it's on the other side. You see Jaewon also sitting on the train.
Oh my God.
So the entire time Adam was like, are they in the same train? Like, you were like,
I couldn't tell if it was like they're trying to tell that they're both on the train at the same time, but it's 2 different trains.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell like what was the story trying to say in that moment.
Yeah.
Like the visual language. What was it trying to convey? Like
at the end, you find out they reveal that they are right in front of each other. They both
only
went
ones on the car.
They both went on this train together. Jaewon is smiling. Jihyun is smiling.
Just front shots of them,
and then
each
credits, which made me think that this entire time they had planned to like meet up again. I think it was from the moment the pictures dropped and they've just been texting because here's the thing. When Ari asked her,
listen, Linda, listen, because Ari said, "Here's the link for the photos." But he'd already been looking at the photos. Who sent him the link?
Oh, so that text.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Yoonwon that texted.
No, it was from Eddie.
It was Eddie?
Mm-hmm. Because she was doing like cute. She was doing like cute typing.
Yes. But he was already looking at the pictures.
Yes. And then she was like, "Here's the link for the photos. You should check them out." And he was like, "Okay, cool."
Okay. See,
what's your thought?
I had a feeling that I knew it was sometime there because the next morning when they like are about to go to class, he looks like he is like refreshed. He is smiling. He's super happy.
RJ was so scared we were gonna have to meet a professor character.
I know. Oh my God, yes. Where it's like, because they were like, oh, I heard this professor's a real hard ass on freshmen. Black, cut, scene, class is over.
Class is over. RJ was like, I don't want to have to meet another character.
I don't want to meet a teacher. I don't want another complication. I don't care about school right now.
No, this is not a school show.
No. It was when Ari was like, I want to have lunch or let's have dinner. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, I'm meeting up with a friend. I think he genuinely was talking about he already made
we're
plans
supposed to assume that he's
to meet up with him
Junpyo
tonight.
as his...
I think that he already was like, no, I'm actively talking about the plans that I've already made with Jaewon. But Junpyo happens to be outside when he got out of class, so he was like, don't say anything, or I will kill you. Don't even say anything. Because I think she would be like, oh yeah, he said that you guys have plans.
Because I thought he was worried that she was going to say something because it's Junpyo, and he would just like start talking. And be like, oh, were you the one he kissed or something stupid and awful?
Yes. Rethinking back, I think he was trying to be like, I told her that I made plans with someone. It's not you. So if she says something like, I heard you guys are going out, maybe I can go out with you too. Junpyo's like, what the fuck is she talking about? Or just like to him. Because I think Junpyo would play along.
Sure. I don't think he's a complete idiot.
No, but I just think Jihyun is like, don't say anything. Just smile. And I will try to get rid of her.
See, I love when stories do this. This is very Ocean's 11.
It's very... Here's the thing. I love when a story trusts the audience so much that they're able to play a game with them like this without like misusing that trust. Because we have seen shows where it's like they didn't trust us at all, that they like we were fully
duped.
That I read from Ampliverse Book Club did that, where the main protagonist...
It was an unreliable narrator.
Yes, was lying to us the entire time, but it was using sympathy for themselves was like the point of the book. So when at the end we're like, I actually knew all along what I was doing. It was like, then I feel bad now that I felt bad for you.
Yeah.
But for this show, it feels like we can trust, they are hooked already, that we can kind of like give
and you
them,
are rooting for like you.
Yes, you're already inherently rooting
so
for them. So like if we give them a surprise that like what they're rooting for is actually going to come true, then we can play with that.
And it's only one episode.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like it's now we're going to do this game for the next like 6 weeks or whatever.
I mean, it's so smart.
It's so good. I loved it. Anyway, that's our thoughts on episode 3.
Girl, I live.
Girl, I live.
Someone did
Malibu, baby.
Someone did ask us, like, they're like, what is the list of BLs that you have seen? So they know, like, when they're recommending, if they can recommend something new, or like they can recommend a title that we've already seen, but at least know when they recommend it, like, can you give us your thoughts again on this or whatever. So I'm gonna put up a list right here. These are all of the BLs that we've seen. No,
But my life is a BL, so
yeah, can't wait to see the ending.